All right, y'all. What the heck is in the water in law firms across the nation right now? My email is blowing up. My coaching calls, uh, my law firm admin boot camp in regards to time off requests and policies. Team members, this one is for you. I want you to listen. Putting time on your attorney's calendar, sending them a text the day of, the night of, and calling it a time off request is unacceptable. I'm going to do a deep dive in the podcast this week, but I really want to give this to you for the pocket coaching. We're going to discuss the crucial topic that impacts all of us: your attorney, your coworkers, your clients, and your ability for raises and growth advancement. The process of requesting time off. So no longer is it acceptable for us to be a small firm. Listen, you can still have culture and not be very corporate if you have 6 attorneys and a shareholder and 28 employees and some virtual employees or what have you. Yes, we start building greater, bigger SOPs and what have you. But if you are a small firm and your definition of it is number of bodies in the building and you are not adhering to a time off request, and yes, it's a request, not a tell, and a policy, employees, I want you to take this from your attorney, raise your hand, and say, I'm willing to create the process if you do not have one. If you do have one, or your attorney thinks you have one, an employee handbook, dust it off and bring it to your next stakeholders meeting and revisit it. I'm getting so many emails about team members, employees, whatever terminology resonates with you, where they're sending texts at night to the attorney or maybe even their coworker and bypassing the attorney. If you are hiding out in technology or you're placing it on the calendar, and maybe you're messing up and putting it on your calendar, but it's not on the firm calendar, or maybe it is buried somewhere within the attorney's crazy calendar, whatever is your process and how you're doing this, it's not working. And I'm here to take an unwavering stand for yourself, for your team members, or what have you. Because imagine if you're on the receiving end of this and you're getting a text or an email or a phone call or whatever it is from Susie Q that she's not coming in, and you have back to back client meetings and now you have to fill in for their position. It's even more critical when you're a small business. So if you have some niggle or trigger or reaction to creating a policy for this, think about when it's happened to you in your existing job or your previous jobs. So I really want to explore this, and I'm going to dive deep into this. Attorneys, if you are listening to this week's Pocket Coach, give this podcast and the rest of this to your team members. Delegate it to them and empower them to really take this on, because summer's here and it's only getting worse. And I'm seeing it over and over again when I'm hopping into my coaching calls, when I'm getting the emails and people saying, sorry, I'm not going to be there today. Sorry, I'm out today, what have you. And the attorney is left working their butt off, or your coworkers are left working their butt off. So continue on and listen to this week's podcast for some tips and tricks for all of you. This is not about corporate. This is not about being very restrictive and being a micromanager, what have you. This is about everybody stepping into being an entrepreneur, being able to plan your work and work your plan, and for you to be able to take time off and not come back to a pile of work that's sitting there or having anxiety or the day before vacation. This is about really being the CEO of your own roles and goals. So let's dive into this week. Keep listening to the podcast.
I'm so tired of micromanaging. How do I train, manage, and lead? I can't find time to be visionary. Head down in the